And here we go. We're live. Howdy, folks. Good morning. I doubt I'm saying good morning to anyone because you guys will all be asleep over here. Good afternoon, good evening to anyone overseas. This is Cat Ward, Cat in the Shadows, Spirit Paranormal Investigation. And I will remove myself from the screen now. And this is
Just-
Kev Kerr from Kev Kerr Paranormal. Well, I'm having a shit hair year, so I'm yes, I'll remove myself from screen and let Kev take over.
oh yeah.
Karen, hello, Karen. Oh,
Hello. Have you completely disappeared then? Because I can't hear you anymore.
damn it! I might have to put us on split screen. Okay, I've got myself as Kev Kerr because I usually take myself off
there's
screen, but I'm not
there's
Kev
two of
Kerr.
us now. That's it.
I'm not. I'm not Kev Kerr. Yes, I
So,
have. I have got a shit hair year.
if you press the cam button, you'll disappear.
Yes, of course. I must have. Okay, let's see. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, great. There we go. That's better. I'm less awkward off cam than I am on. Now, God, how's everything going over there? We're due a thunderstorm over here shortly. I can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait. Literally, I think I've missed the last few storms. There was a really cool electrical storm a few weeks back that we could see literally from the house, which was amazing.
I love those. We're at the foothills of some mountains here, and so I get to watch down towards the end of the little main street. And hello, Lorian. And there's the foothills just down there, and you see the storms coming across the top, and they roll in over the street. It's fantastic. I love it. We're waiting for. I'm a Sironophile, I think they call us. But yes. Now we should get to this. I mean, we've only got 2 hours, and we haven't really talked. We haven't talked on the phone before at all, actually.
No, we haven't. We've messaged a lot, and so it's been quite a few years as well.
Yeah, I stopped everything after Ma died. I just
Yeah,
couldn't. I had to step out. Oh,
yeah. I
Lorian
don't blame
says
you.
two Kevs. Yes, sorry.
There's not enough room in the world.
I'm a newbie at this stuff. Yeah, but I just stopped after Ma died. I just couldn't. I stopped writing, and
Mm.
it took a while to get back to it. But I'm back, all guns blazing now. It seems.
It's the same with me. I've had almost 2.5, 3 years off, and now back with a vengeance.
Yeah, well, I first found you through Pararationalise. That was God.
Mhm.
How many years ago was that? 5,
5, yeah,
6, something
yeah,
like
probably
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while. We messaged here and there, but we never were really. We didn't talk a whole heap. I guess
Mm,
I had a whole heap of friends back then. I did a huge cull because I wasn't keeping in contact with any of them. But you were always a
yeah.
sweetheart, and you've got a
Oh.
really cool accent too. Like I said, I'm a sucker for accents. Any accent except the broad Aussie one on girls. I don't like it. But
You
now,
should try Kareem Bassant's. That's an interesting one.
where does she come from?
Bristol
Bristol. What do they
speaks like
sound
that. Oh, I'm not even going to do an impression.
like? Rachel, hello, Rachel. Yes, last. It's Tuesday. It's Monday for Kevin.
Kev, a sweetheart, laugh out loud, bless her.
In it. Oh, in it. Ah,
In it.
yes. I love those, though. I really do. I'm a sucker for any accent except the broad Aussie one on girls. It just doesn't have. You seen it? We have a show over here called Kath and Kim. Have you seen
Yeah,
that, Kath and
yeah, I
Kim?
have. Yeah.
Yeah, that I can't do. Yeah, it's not me. On guys, it's fine. I mean, but yeah, paranormal ghosts. Let's get to the ghost stuff, the spooky stuff. It is spooky season. Let's start off first. Hang on. Now, whereabouts have you lived? You're living currently where? Gloucestershire?
I'm in Gloucestershire. Yeah, so
I
it's
can
like
pronounce it. Woohoo.
it's sort of southwest England.
And whereabouts have you lived there all your life, or have you shifted around, or?
Oh, I've been all over. I've been Oxford, London, I don't know. Oxford, London, Portsmouth.
Oh, Rachel has a. Hang on, Rachel has a. I just forgot. I keep remembering that I can hit the add to comments. Rachel
Keep
has a
saying
has
it.
a
Has a posh accent.
posh
Very
accent. I
lovely to
love
listen
those
to.
too, though. Yeah. No. So, where did you grow up and places that you lived in?
Oh,
And
that's me. My
oh,
watch is telling me. There you go. I started off in Portsmouth, so I used to live in old pubs in Portsmouth, um, and it
like where I
was
live.
what's that?
I live in an old pub.
Oh, it's a way to do it, yeah. But honestly, it was a real surreal experience. You know, we started off in a sort of two up, two down terrace, and then we ended up in pubs, and we had so
Yeah.
many different experiences that I suppose it just kicked everything off, really.
I think, I mean, for me, it started with my mum and everything. I was going to ask that. Did anything happen anywhere you've lived? And well, yeah, you've lived in a pub. So I guess that's part of the course because anywhere
Just
we've
kind of goes
gone
with
to,
it.
there's been something that's happened, like, of course, it's sometimes explainable, but there's always been something that's happened in hotels. And here,
Oh
they're
yeah,
friendly. Here, I'm still missing a pen. They took it the other day and I can't find it.
I just
They,
blaming
they,
the
they
ghost
play
thing.
tricks. And we have a little ghost cat here. I call her Shadow because I'm cat in the shadows, so I call her Shadow. And she meowed the other night.
Oh God.
But I love them. Yeah, so that I guess is what got you interested in the paranormal now. What were your first steps? Did you reach out to anyone? Did you have a mentor like I did with Gary Sullivan,
Oh,
or someone that you looked up to, or someone that you tried to model yourself after or your style after?
well, first I was really young, so I must have been probably 4 or 5 when it
Oh,
all sort of become a thing. So it was,
yeah,
but
yeah,
at that time it was just reading books and having an
fiction and
interest
stuff.
in all these kind of
Yeah,
things that were happening at the pubs that we lived
yeah,
in and trying
yeah,
to make sense of them. So I was a believer for
yeah,
God knows how many years, probably almost 18 years.
yeah,
And I read every book I could get my hands on, every bit of
yeah.
information. I used to stay up late to watch 14 TV. Um,
Yes.
and literally that was like the best thing ever. I used to wait 14 TV. It's going to be amazing.
Is
And
that a TV show?
yeah, very old one. So it's
Oh,
Lionel
we've never
Fanfort
had
was the
that here. I
presenter.
don't. We've never had that. We've had Twilight Zone and
Oh, honestly,
odd
if you've got a
night
notepad,
stalker, of course.
if you got a notepad in front of you, write it down. 14 TV. It was
Oh,
amazing with Lionel Fanfort or Reverend
I've
Lionel
heard of
Fanfort.
him. He's
Yeah,
a reverend, isn't he?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, I thought
And
so.
he was my um
Ah,
what's the name?
David Goulden says for
Oh, David
TNTV was
Golden.
David Goulden. Sorry, Golden. Sorry,
Da-
says for TNTV
Dave.
was.
Well, well, well. We meet again, Mr. Creamy Pockets. Bless him.
Yeah, we've never had that here. I'll have to check it out if it's on YouTube or something.
Oh,
And
strange but
strange,
true. Oh, that's
strange.
amazing.
Oh, you
Love
can
strange
see
but true.
comments. Oh, that's
I
good. I
can.
can't. I can't see that you can see.
But literally, like, watching all those things, I always loved it. But it wasn't something my family were very comfortable with. You know, we lived in these
Yeah,
haunted pubs and things did
yeah,
happen. And for me, I was just more curious about it all. And then, so I didn't really, I was a bit scared, obviously, when I was younger. But as I got older, it just become fun, and finding out about these things, finding out about ghost stories, telling people ghost stories. I absolutely loved it. Um,
Karen, sorry.
who let Posh David in?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bless her. And so yeah. Anyway, so obviously I just put my telling ghost stories. Absolutely loved it. My auntie was really into ghosts.
Yeah,
She had books and things that I would read as well.
yeah,
Um, and I just had so many experiences when I was younger. It was, countless experiences that no one could
yeah,
persuade me otherwise that the paranormal was real. Like I said, the paranormal was real, and that was it. It was just as normal to
yeah,
me as anything else.
yeah.
Um, and then as I got a bit older and I started reading, I've read all the ghost stories, read all folklore, read all demonology, angelology, everything else I could possibly find. And then I started studying things like psychology and realizing that sounds very
Yes.
similar to these situations. Oh, they all love me. Oh.
Well, I do too. Like
Brilliant.
I said to Ellison last night, I choose my family.
Yeah.
You guys
I
are
mean,
my paranormal people, like my family. So
you you have managed to get together a very big group of very influential people.
I don't know how, but I just guess got I just got sick of people not
Yeah.
reading stuff, you know,
Yeah.
and
No, fair play
running
to you.
around in the dark, not knowing what their gadgets were talking to, and yes,
Just doing all
and
the things.
pareidolia. And let's not go with pet peeves, but yes, go on, ghosts. And so, that's how it started with the scientific side of thing, and that's
Yeah.
when you started Pararationalize back then.
No, so I was sort of on my own, and I decided to write. I had a bit of money, and I thought I'm going to buy some kit. So I spent ages just studying paranormal kit and equipment. Um, got together about 5 grand's worth of, back then was a lot for 5 grand. Now it's a bit ridiculous, but I had about 12 flight cases full of everything. Different recorders, different cameras, every different sensor you could think of.
Did you have a van?
Yeah, that's what it was like. And the problem is, I lived on a top floor flat with no lift, so I had to walk all the way down with all of it and all the way back up again. But it was, I wanted to get in the field, and I wanted it to be Gloucester Paranormal Research. That was the name that I wanted because I was in Gloucester and I was researching paranormal. So, and I was just going to do it myself. And then I
Yeah.
googled it just to check the name, and it turns out that was already taken. And so I just messaged him and said, "Look, I got all this kit and all this knowledge. If you're interested, I wouldn't mind joining you guys for a couple of investigations." And funnily enough, they'd only just started 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
So I went along with them for a while, and it's Anne Harrod and Dwayne and like the team that we had, and we did a lot at Birdlip, which is a place around here. Um, Lots of different studying, really strange experiences, things like that. And
Yeah.
they come to know me as the debunkinator because even though I wanted to have an experience, I wanted to make sure it was real. So
Of
everything that
course.
happened,
Of
I'd
course.
turn around and be like, could be this, could be that. Um, and then basically that went quiet for a little while. Um, Corinne, bless her, just
Yes.
messaged me out of the blue and started asking me loads of questions. And it was like, oh, actually, I do know the answer to pretty much all these things, like, no problem. And then I was sort of seeing the field was horrible. Like, it was just full of people doing so
Yeah.
much rubbish stuff. And it was like, all these years I've read about like Harry Price and these amazing mini experiments he'd do whilst
Yeah.
investigating and things. And like,
Experiments. Don't get me
well,
drooling.
that's just it. But literally, it was like it stopped. It had just become quite cheap and tacky, and no one was
Yeah.
really questioning anything. So I literally just went the Debunkinator
Oh, but
t-shirt. Oh, you better do. So literally, it's one of those where I got to a point and I thought I need to educate. But the problem was I was quite angry because the paranormal has been such a big part of who I am for so long.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
almost as if everyone was ruining it, and I was like quite angry about it.
Yeah.
And I
It's like
thought,
an offense, like a personal offense. You take it
yeah,
personally. Yeah.
yeah. So,
That's how I feel, I think.
but I've obviously changed a lot over the years. But at the time, so I started my blog, and my blog was just ripping into all these different types of people that I come across and the way
And that
people
was
were doing
Pararationalize,
things.
yes?
That was the beginning of, yeah. So
Yes.
like as it started as like a little blog, and then I thought, well, actually, I'm being angry and annoyed at these people who probably don't even know what I know about the paranormal. So they don't understand how psychology works. They don't understand how, like, hey, Wes, they don't understand how,
Yes.
the
Hi,
brain
Wes.
can work. Bless him. That's him.
Yeah.
What? Um, so yeah, I thought, why not teach, or attempt to teach? Let's just write this stuff down,
Yeah.
show where the research is, and then
Yeah.
let people do what they want to do. And then towards the end of Power Rationalise, I was kind of at a point where my skepticism and my cynicism were getting too close together. Um, I was trying to
Yeah.
teach people this stuff, and there was easy answers to things, but not really
Yeah.
taking into account people's belief systems. So once I had a break, so I had a break when Lyra was born, so it was like
Yeah.
too much to take on. We started making the UK Paranormal Society, and there was a lot of work into that, which I couldn't really put my time into. So I stepped back from that.
Right.
And
So you used to be part of those. I keep seeing them pop up all the time.
yeah, so like many moons ago. So Team Impact, our team that was the team at Woodchester at the time, we
Yeah.
disbanded, and Paul basically come forward and said, um, "I want to do this thing," and this was something that I'd been talking about for years to do, and I think I even outlaid a small part of it on a podcast once. But basically, we were going to create a charity that can help investigators help vulnerable people. Um, and so it's like, so it began, and we would work like absolute Trojans. So I was
Yeah.
vice chair then for I think about a year and a half. Before, this was all under NDA, so there was no discussing it with anyone. It was something that needed to be built before it was released,
Yeah.
and make it bulletproof. So now they're obviously, I had to step back, but they've obviously taken over completely. They fair play
Yeah.
to them. They've done the hard work, and they've got it as a charity now, and
Yeah.
they're helping. They're not helping investigators so much. They are aiming towards um, helping out locations and heritage locations, so that they're
Yeah.
protected
And
from the rogues of the paranormal, so to speak. These
yeah, and
people who aren't looking after things.
that's the best thing because I've heard so many stories about Jack.
Yeah.
I won't say his name. And the way that they've disrespected locations, and these
Oh,
places
it's
need
just
preserving, and they need to be treated with respect. And
and the paranormal's got a really good opportunity to help keep our history, and in every country, our history
yeah,
alive, because they're able to fund these locations, by going in and investigating, by going in and helping. But there's no need to go in and destroy things that are there.
exactly.
You've got to sort of appreciate those things more than you have go in and say, right, it's our place, we paid for it, we've hired it, we do whatever we want. It's like you need that respect as you go through.
Yes, yes. David says protecting our. You can see them. Yes, well said, both of you guys too.
Yeah, definitely. And this is the thing. It's an important aspect of the paranormal, one that's actually forgotten quite often.
Yeah,
People come into the paranormal. They've only been in 3 weeks. They're like, "Oh, I need to get into that old house. I'll go break in. I'll go and do." And it's like, no. And if we had a community that wouldn't accept that,
yeah,
who would call that out, that will
yeah,
quickly be rectified in no time. Where people go, actually, I'm not getting
yeah,
on very well with the paranormal because of it. And slowly that is changing over time. Like David's doing a lot of work, Crean's doing a lot of work, UK Paranormal Society part of that, Rachel, even Lorianne, she's doing a fantastic job making pubs look, reminding people that pubs are actually, I think she's actually writing a book as well, that pubs are actually part of that heritage.
well, they
Um,
are because a lot of people came and went through those places, and they used to be business places as well. People used to do business there.
Precisely, you
Some
know.
big deals were made in pubs.
No, let's face it. That's how it is. It's one of those things where we do sit down in a pub and we go, right. You know, that's where ideas bloom. That's where people step away from their everyday and their norm and build creativity, and everyone gets a bit pissed and enjoys themselves. So it's like mix all those things together. They've changed the world, really.
Yes, yes, and God, and so now with the field work that you did, you do field work when you were doing Pararationalize? Did you
Hmm.
go around to places and things? Can you detail a couple of things like memorable cases that you worked on or anything like that?
So um, the problem is after the so when I
Oh,
started Power
hang on,
Rationalize,
hang on. David said, David.
that's Dawn, is it? All right, mate. Do you
Oh,
know if I
oh,
need to
Dawn.
follow?
Sorry,
Do I need to follow
caffeine's
Cat
not
to
hit
the
me
other
yet.
cast of my TV? I want to watch on the big screen, but not working. You can follow Cat if you want. Just yeah, and then
I'm not sure. I can't
yeah, it should
cast a
be,
mind at all.
as long as it's
Yeah, but come
casting
on.
through
Sorry.
Facebook. Yeah, it should be fine. Um, so basically, yeah, what was I saying? Investigation. So, um, yeah, with Parationalise. So when I decided to go on my own, I joined A.S.A.P. Went along to a
Yes.
Seriously Strange conference, joined A.S.A.P, jumped on their training, agreed with their ethics and principles, and thought, yeah, happy
Yes.
days. And then literally,
Exactly.
I was like, right, I'm going to go and investigate properly. Now I'd done some residential bits before, but I sort of just fell into it really easily. It was a really easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So I did it with all the passion for the paranormal that I've got, and then decided to try and teach people about the damage that these things do.
Yeah.
Um, if you go in and you tell someone who is, mentally unwell that yes, what they're experiencing is 100% real, you're going to have
Yes.
problems. But it is literally one of those situations where you can't tell these people. So Pararationalise again was about teaching people. So the information's there,
Yes.
you take it as and when you do. So everything calmed down at that point and sort of come together.
Yes.
So for years I was doing residential investigations, but one of my main rules for residential investigations, if you aren't mentally ready to take on an investigation, just don't take it on. Um,
Yes.
and I had one situation where, and I'll keep obviously names, locations, and everything else away, where an
Yes.
individual, so the individual was experiencing what I believe to have been sleep paralysis. So she was, um, there was a demon appearing having sexual relations at night with her. She was completely, obviously distressed. Um, Obviously, she was probably mid 30s, obviously distressed. Obviously, something needed to be done.
Yes.
Me being on my own, because that's what I used to do, like an idiot. I used to go and investigate residential places on my own, and
Yes.
pass someone the address and say, "I'll be here until this time," and do it that way. Um,
Yes.
but this time, I just said, "Oh, it sounds to me like sleep paralysis." And number one rule again, or second rule, is make sure you don't give an answer there and then on the first interview. You've got to go back and really look through the details, etc., to make sure it's fine.
Yeah.
So I didn't, because I was a bit cocky and young and arrogant, and I said I was sleep paralysis, and she calmly got up and locked the front door and the back door, um, which was terrifying. To suddenly the realization that actually you're not dealing with someone who suffers with sleep paralysis. This is most likely some form of psychosis or schizophrenia. Then you find
Yeah.
yourself in danger. Um,
Yeah. Definitely.
so literally all I've at that point I realized that I couldn't do it on my own, and I had to kind of explain that I need the church to deal with it, etc., and I needed to leave. And she calmly unlocked the doors if there wasn't an issue. Luckily, I called the local crisis team, gave them the details. I said I'd leave a welfare checks in order, and lo and behold, 6 7 months later, she was very grateful and very thankful that you know I had been in and done what I'd done. And whereas if it was a team, they would have
Yeah.
went in and went, "Oh yeah, we can sense a demon," or "This is
It's a
happening,"
demon. Yes. Exactly. God.
and the damage that could have been done could have been unbelievable. So it's those situations which actually drove my passion, but I couldn't do that on my own. So I met
Yeah.
Paul Hobday at the A.S.A.P training, and me and Paul got on quite well. Um, and I was sort of like he was with Team Impact at the time, and then suddenly they were doing a recruitment drive. So I said, "All right, I'll come along, have a little interview." And
Yeah.
instantly we all got on and started running around with Team Impact down at Woodchester, and it was great. It was fantastic. We were doing some proper investigations. We were going to different locations.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, and then we decided to disband, and that's when basically, yeah. So Dawn's but Incubus. So yeah, people, Incubus and Succubus. So there is that innate belief that obviously that happens, but that's usually during sleep paralysis. People will experience what they believe is the incubus or succubus. But when people are suffering from things such as like hypnopompia or anything like that, they're waking up to see that
Yes.
and they can react to that. So, or in the case of something when it is psychosis, they're going through that whole process. So even if the individual is seeing things, they are still experiencing that sexual assault happening by that entity, the feel, the smells, everything, as if it is 100% real. So you imagine it's massively traumatic. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, when we look at the folklore of incubus and succubus, it's
Yes.
it's usually from those situations, so like sleep paralysis, psychosis, because it's come from ancient times where we didn't realize that was even a thing. Um,
Yeah. Well, we thought that someone drove a chariot in the sky back then. So
Precisely. We'll ride on the back of a turtle. It's problem solved.
now,
Hmm.
why you are you? Why did Pararationalize? Why did you end up shutting that down? After all of
So,
that.
so I'd done everything with the society, unfortunately, before they launched. So I built the framework and the policies, procedures, helped with all that side of stuff. And that was going to be the passion project of the century. Like my heart was in that, and most of the members will tell you the final meeting where I said I can't do this anymore because I've got too much to do being a dad. I was almost in tears because it was what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Um, and it's even part
Yeah.
of my bucket list is build a charity. So it was all of it was, you know, everything that I wanted to achieve and the legacy that I wanted to leave behind. Um, and the thing with Power Rationalize it, people one, the name is very difficult for people to remember. Power Rationalize
Really?
or yeah, but it's like to me at the time when I made it, it rolled off the tongue. Power Rationalize, great. But also it was kind of branded without me at the front. Um, so I wasn't really noticeable. It was the logo was noticeable. Me
Yeah.
as Kev Kerr, quite a few people who met me were like, "Oh, you're actually really nice," and I was like, "What did you expect? Like, did you expect me to be
Really?
like horrible? You know, like, oh, okay."
Well, you don't look
But
scary.
no, but as in my posts were scary. My
Yeah.
posts like were
Yeah.
so
Well,
to
yeah.
the point, and that was
To
how
some,
I was perceived. People would invite
to
me on
some, but not to
podcasts.
me.
Yeah, they'd invite me on a podcast because they knew if I was going to argue a point, I was going to argue a point, and strip someone down to their beliefs, and then like say, right, what now?
Yeah.
And actually, that's not really me. So I've had this long break all of a sudden. Still keeping in contact with a few people in the paranormal. Still, doing the odd investigation or some location where we go and see if we can find some ghosts and have fun with it. And then I decided enough's enough. I've held this off for so long and it's a passion of mine. I'm going to rebuild. So I took away Parationalize and I thought I'm just going to start from fresh. So
Yes.
nice and easy, me at the front, Kev Kerr Paranormal, here I am, you know. And I don't want to
Don't.
do yeah, I don't want to do big write outs and show references and go through all the books and like
Yeah.
it's just like I like doing right spirit box of an orange, make a point like in a more fun way and
Yeah.
like not just
Yeah.
sort of judge. That's the only way to describe it, like judge and say, oh, you're a believer, but that's because you don't realize this exists or that exists. And
Yes.
so I thought Kev Kerr Paranormal, great. And then um it's really opened up a whole new world to me, if I'm honest. So Crean and Rachel Fairplay, they took me along to Parameet. Jim Bobby Orange, yeah. Um,
Jimbo.
have
What?
you
I'm
ever,
not going to ask.
have you ever seen my where I talk to an orange on with the spirit box?
No.
Oh, there's a video on
You
YouTube
did?
where I use a spirit box to communicate with an orange to make a point because people were communicating with dolls. So I just used an orange to make a point and say I can communicate with this orange with the spirit box. They don't work in that sense. Um,
Oh, no.
so like literally once you've woken up, everything, have a watch of it. But basically, yeah. So I created Kevco Paranormal because I wanted to be more open, and I wanted to be more like that kid who would read books on the paranormal and ghost stories and love it,
Yes.
and be more approachable and open. But I went
Yes.
to Parameet at rugby, and it's basically a small convention with talks.
I haven't heard of
That
that one.
you should look it up, and then you should fly over and come with us.
Oh, well, I should. I have to get over there one day, for sure. But everything over there makes me drool.
Yeah, that's it then.
Ghosts and
it's like
accents.
it's like brilliant. But yeah, we literally I was there and I was one of those it was one of those things when no one knew who I was. That makes me sound really big-headed, but like no one knew of skeptical Kev Kerr, you know,
Yes.
the paranormal arsehole who will tell you how it is kind of thing.
Oh,
Everyone just saw me as another guy who likes the paranormal,
yeah.
and it was amazing. It was just amazing to go and talk to people about ghosts because my me being in a situation with anyone or talking to anyone always ended up with them go, yeah, yeah, I know what you think, but oh, yeah, it could have been this, but, and it's like I want the story. I don't want your what you think I want to hear.
Yeah.
So I had like the whole pretty much the whole day, um, the whole night and the day after of
Yeah.
just people who just wanted to talk about I was talking about ghost animals. I haven't spoken about ghost animals since I was 7 or 8. And it was
Oh,
like, you know, suddenly to talk about these different spirits and omens and talking about folklore and talking about just it was like I felt
yeah.
like revived again and it was like, oh, this is so nice to talk about all this stuff. Um
Yeah.
and it was needed. Like, I think for my soul, it was needed, you know? It was like, actually, there is all this interesting stuff, and these people who are believers, you know, they don't necessarily need the information. They don't need the thing.
Well,
Like,
some of them don't need the science, I guess, because some of them have had experiences. I've had some heaps, in
mm,
fact,
I've had
and
when I say to people my personal experiences, they're like, "How are you not a believer?" And it's like, "Because of that information."
I mean, I like the science. Karen says
Yeah,
he
I
loves it.
do.
I love it as well. But yeah, sometimes the science is necessary if you can't prove or deep blah, blah, I need more coffee, no, cola, sorry, disprove something, then you might want something to. But if we have an experience, I mean, I got pinched on the ass at Castlemaine Jail. I can't discount that. That was a pinch on the ass.
Yeah, and to be fair, so I'm a bit of a lone wolf, but with my group, hi Sabrina,
Hi,
um,
Sabrina.
sort of like a sort of a bit of a lone wolf, but I
Yeah,
go with multiple different groups. So I've got like groups of like close friends in the paranormal, basically, and
yeah,
just kind of go along with them at different places.
yeah.
And
Like Beth does. Like Beth with Access, she goes along
yeah,
and
and
yeah,
just yeah, and it's like um, there's a lot of like bum pinching that seems to happen, like to our friend James. Um, Bless him.
Marie.
But he must have a nice ass to go, so we just don't know. It just seems to be one of those things.
Well, I took it as a compliment.
Yeah.
Marie Morgan. Hello, Marie.
Hey, Marie.
Karen, because
Kev's
Kev's
pink
pink.
ladies.
God, now where was I? We were talking about books just earlier about books. I have to go way, way back because I do have questions written, but now, researches and books like past, current, and what are the most memorable ones to you? What ones are you really into? Like, one of my favorites, of course. I always babble about Rupert Sheldrake,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Right. What I'll do,
as far
give
as
me
current
two.
goes, and I've got
Right,
a ton of past, of course, SPR, but yes,
I'm going to show you. Hold on. I'll
oh
be
no,
back.
you've got a bookshelf. I don't, I've got a tiny one.
Dun, dun, dun. Hold on. God, there's so many.
Rachel
um,
Hayward says, oh, hang on.
all right, here we go.
Anyway, I'll put a
Rachel.
comment up on screen from Rachel here. Just for you when you come back.
Da, da. Oh, it just goes on and on and on.
Oh no.
Right.
Here we go. Rachel says, Rachel says,
Here we
here
go.
we go.
Right. Psychology of paranormal belief.
Hang on,
Absolutely.
can I have a look at that one?
Psychology of
Who's the
paranormal
author of
belief.
who's the Harvey Irwin, yes, and Caroline
Yeah,
Watt. Yes, I've got their intro to parapsychology.
that one.
I've got that one.
Obviously, anything by Steve Parsons.
Oh
So,
God, yes. That I want to give my team homework.
yeah, Steve Parsons is absolutely fantastic. And the way he writes them as well, are just beyond in the same way for paracoustics.
And yes, yes, and
This
yes.
is the big fond favourite of mine when I was growing up. Where is it? There you go. Encyclopedia of Ghosts and Spirits. So
Don't
John
think
and
I've
Anne Spencer.
not heard of that one.
That one is for a skeptic or even for a believer with interest.
Yeah,
Is so obviously, as we know, James Randi,
Randy. Yes,
bless him, passed away now.
yes.
But that this book
He was one
is
of Kenny's favorites, I think, too. I think
yeah, no, it's
yes,
absolutely
Kenny
fantastic
Blue,
because he
and yes.
he's had that good mindset. But that's a first edition of mine that I probably should have sold when he
Sabrina
passed away.
says, Sabrina wants a loan.
There's this one, as in this is a really interesting read.
Oh,
This is actually
is that
Rachel
Rachel?
Hayward's book. Yeah,
That's I have to get that. I
yeah,
didn't know you lived
definitely.
in a haunted house, Rachel.
Yeah, like honestly, you read about Rachel's like
I've never
adventures.
met Rachel until just a couple of days ago. So
Yeah, yeah, no, Rachel's a really good friend of mine, and honestly, if anyone's watching, they go on Amazon and buy this book, easy peasy, because it is absolutely fantastic read, and not just about ghosts. It's actually genuinely interesting as well.
that would be. I've got to get that. I get my bookshelves back soon. Yeah, but
Got some
and
more? Hold on.
oh
Uh, oh,
no. That's
just
okay.
so
Hang on, you go on, show your books. I can watch this
just
in a second. I've got to go and get some more cola. It's too hot. Sabrina says Cat in the Shadows, Rachel Hayward will sign it too. Thank you, Rachel. And I will order it. And Karen says best read ever. And Lorian says, yes, I ordered it. And I will order it too, I think. Yeah,
I
but
don't blame you.
go on. I'm just going to get a can of. Actually, do you want me to pop this on pause for half a second? I'll top up my drink and you can
No,
grab
it's all
whatever
right.
you want. Okay, well, go
Bottom.
ahead. I can
Go
watch
on, go
these
get a
back
drink.
later. I dare say I'll have a lot of the books. Yeah, but
That's
do
all
I
right. I'll
have
wait.
an excuse here? Actually, I'm at the kitchen bench, so I can
You just
actually.
it's just shouting out at the same time.
I think my
So
loud is used. I think my
one that I
loud is
spoke
used to
about,
the dining room, so I can actually. There's a serving hatch here, so I can actually see you.
you see through. It's like your own little TV bit.
The
So
former staff quarters at the pub.
this is the one that I mentioned in my talk recently with A.S.A.P. It's Oliver Sacks' hallucinations. Absolutely fantastic. If you want to know how the brain creates hallucinations and what happens to people, it is brilliant. This one, so I've just got this, and guess who's in it? So Lorian Jones is in it, and she's wrote an amazing story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read. I'm not going to read it out, but go on Amazon again, pick it up. It's absolutely brilliant. So, and then it's full of other different ghost stories, but I'd say Lorian's is the best. Oh, what else have I got? Guidance notes. This is the best
Yes,
thing
yes,
ever for
yes, yes.
spontaneous cases. Same
Homework.
again for using equipment from the SPR. Anyone just want a screenshot as a go, because this is a very small, tiny piece of a thing. Never forget the Satanic Bible. Very interesting read. Depending,
Yes, yes, the Church of Satan. Have you seen their FAQ sheet and their Twitter
it's
feed? I find it
mhm.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Literally unbelievable. When I sat and read that, I thought, "What? Am I a Satanist?" It's like, no. And the Field
No,
Guide to
but I know
Demons
they'll
because
work with the
it's
right,
good fun.
and they're not.
But yeah, so that's a small portion of my whole entire
Yeah,
bookshelf. But
yeah.
it's literally so yeah, buy
So-
it.
I'm missing all of that, and Lorian, I'll have to get your book too, or your story. That sounds really great.
So
Oh,
right, so
Dawn says,
examples of experiences, causation of mythology and folklore. Do you think humans have an innate need to believe in higher beings? It's bothered me for a while. Just want to know your opinion. So it's quite interesting. So if you think about mythology and folklore, that's built upon the human experience. So, but it's also built off cultural aspects of what's believed at
yes,
the time. Um, so really, it is an innate part of being human that we do that, and we do have a need to believe in a higher sort of higher being or higher entity or something like that. And that requirement is because um, our life is very difficult. And what we have to remember, our lives have this is the easiest our lives have ever been. But obviously, through the centuries, safety in regards to, say, being killed or murdered or
yes,
slaughtered, or it's been almost been a constant threat throughout
yes,
those times. And especially when it comes to illness and not understanding bugs and not understanding bacteria or
Yes,
viruses and that kind of
and
stuff.
how they affect us, and yeah.
It's an invisible thing that suddenly appears,
Yeah.
and we need to explain that in order to understand it, in order to fear it less, in order to,
Yes.
you know, carry on being human, making more humans, etc., etc. So really, everything that you said there is right. So we need to believe in those higher beings in order to feel safe, in order to feel in control. But at the same time, the mythology and the folklore builds from people's theory of what that thing is.
Yes.
Imagine someone suddenly had the first cold in the world, and they're like, something's in my nose, and
It's a demon.
yeah, it's like something's attacking me. Something's attacking me. It's like, well, no, it's not. It's in there, and it's actually your immune
Yes.
system that's doing it. But we know that easily. Back
Yes.
then, they didn't. So the knowledge was limited at best, and so with limited knowledge comes lots of gaps to fill with ideas. And usually, if someone was a little bit cleverer, they'd either manipulate it and become like a witch doctor, become what's it called, like an oracle, and all that kind of stuff to play their part in the community to ensure their own survival. So that
Yes.
before I explode into all of that kind of stuff, that's basically the answer. I hope that's all right.
Yes. But yeah,
I'll
I
go
mean, I
on.
was going to say around the same thing. We have a need to explain things that we can't explain. What causes the lightning and the sun and the mythology and everything. It kind of all comes together because we've seen that trope throughout centuries. This causes this, and yeah, I don't know. I'm three-quarters awake, but not quite there. I hope you get what I mean.
Yeah. So,
But yeah,
like you mentioned earlier about incubus and succubus,
yes.
that's
Oh,
a culture.
hang on. Rachel says something too. Hang on. I've got to find the click button again. There it is.
It's interesting that the grey,
Oh,
white,
whoops,
blue lady
that's
apparitions. What's
that's the
that?
inspect button I just hit there. Whoops. Sorry, go ahead. I'm
So it
bad at this
says
stuff.
it's interesting that the grey, white, blue lady apparitions in various locations have been replaced by black-eyed children, hat men, etc. Some more modern versions,
Yes. And shadow people. What's
and
going on
shadow
with
people.
Yes.
So, and this is the thing, because
That was my thing.
even generationally, say from the 80s to now, the
Yes.
difference is huge. And as you imagine, generationally, the 80s from the 40s, again,
Yes.
massive and huge. And again, go from the 40s to the 1900s is huge, beyond huge. That jump through the war is massive, probably even more than like the technical advances we've made over the last sort of 40 years. And
Yes.
that changes people's perspective on things. And all of a sudden, oh, that grey, white, blue lady apparition that turns up. One, we don't really have ladies anymore. Like even the ladies that are out there, as in I don't know, lady, whatever their face is or whatever their names are, they're not really seen as something separate or different from us. So we
Yeah.
don't tend to see. We just see an apparition of a woman, or oh, I saw a woman in a dress, because culturally we still discuss those things, and that's it. All the
Yeah.
things with black-eyed children is someone said a story online and it spread like wildfire. Hat men, um, you know, if you think about hat men and you think about the title screen of The Exorcist,
Yeah.
and there's a
Oh,
man in a long
yes.
coat with a hat on, it's got
Yes.
absolutely nothing to
Oh my
do with the
God, it's all
paranormal.
done. Awesome.
It it was the vicar. But people have connected the horror side of that from the media side of it, and now people see this man in a hat and they see black-eyed children that are trying to get into the house, and the stories make me laugh so much with the black-eyed children, because it's like, "Oh, I didn't know if I should let them in." It's like, I don't know about you, but if two kids turned up at the front door, I'm a parent, and if they had black eyes, I'd probably give them more black eyes. Like there's not a chance they're going to step foot in my house. But this is the problem. As it evolves faster. An example of it is comedy. Comedians nowadays struggle to keep up with the amount of material they need to make, because word spreads so fast and things change so fast that they can't write show after show after show after show. Most of them are going to like TV work to talk about what the week's
Yeah.
doing, because it's the only way to keep up. It's the same in the
Yeah.
paranormal and our folklore now. It moves rapid, and depending on the Blair Witch Project,
Oh,
that was
Rachel,
suddenly
Rachel. Oh,
scary.
sorry, Rachel. Here we go. I keep missing click things.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so before I end
Sorry.
up ranting, as we see, we live in a very fast world.
Yeah.
Um, so given that as a perspective, psychological perspective around us constantly, we evolve what's scary and we evolve what we fear.
Yeah. Yeah. Then now I guess we were talking about Hollywood and all of that, just in what we were talking about there. And I think I've got a couple of questions that I write out. Of course, it helps me be more prepared. Now, what would you think? We were talking about, things that, attributes and things. Toolkits, gadgets, and bits and pieces. Mental and physical. What do you think are yeses and nos? So far as what do you keep in your actual toolkit, and what mental attributes should an investigator possess? What in
Yeah,
your opinion, sort of thing.
that's that's all of my kit.
That's about mine now too.
Mhm.
I'm
I've
getting rid
got
of most of mine.
I've got gimbals, I've got tripods. The majority is just camera stuff. I carry a little Ouija board for fun.
I love using those for experiments. I actually
just
do.
just see how they
Why
are.
not?
I carry
They used to be a
carry
romantic game, so why not?
that's it.
Flashlight.
But a red torch specifically so
Yes.
that we
Yes.
don't blind ourselves.
And find your lights as well. Yeah.
I got so triaxle EMF meter, so there's no reason like that's not there for communication purposes. That's to check
Oh, yes.
the measurements in an area.
Yes.
I've got voice recorder, not for EVPs, um, just for recording any witness statements and stuff, so that I don't remember them incorrectly or anything else. I've got
Yes.
torches, battery packs, various different things, as in tripods, depending where I am.
Yeah.
I've got temperature data logger, so that connects to Bluetooth, so I could just set it up wherever and log the
Yep.
data. Cameras,
Yep.
and I bought these for fun,
Oh God, I've got a
and
couple of
these for
those.
fun because everyone keeps
Yeah.
talking about them.
Yeah. I've
There you
seen
go.
you. I saw you do something with those on TikTok, I
Oh, you
think.
watch. You wait, and literally, I should be going live on TikTok loads. I've got headphones. I've got pack of cards. That is
Same.
pretty much the extent of it. So it's as simple as possible. Mainly for data logging, and then also for a bit of fun and experiments and
Yeah. Yeah,
and
what sort
stuff.
of experiments do you do? Because everyone has heard me babble about experiments. What sort of things do you do? I do, old-fashioned ones. I'm planning on trying a couple of soon. But what sort of things do you use them for, like a PK experiment, like a psychic projection thing? Because I find that possibility quite interesting.
So one of my favourite really is the S.S.A.P method, and I don't know
Yes,
why, I just enjoy
the
it.
Gansfeld renamed kind of thing. That's
Oh,
yeah.
it's not. It's very different though, and that's what a lot of
Sensory
people forget.
deprivation. So, oh, no cat ball going there. No cat balls.
I've only gotten to prove they're just cat balls. That's it.
I've done an SB7 headphones,
Mhm.
and and I've done one with an Ovilus and an
Mm.
SB7 headphones as well. Someone else with an Ovilus and an SB7 with someone else, and headphones on the person with the spirit box. And yeah, but yeah, and my favorite was a silent and blindfold one. But yeah, go on with yours. I babble. Sorry.
Oh, that's right. I do the same. We do well between two of us.
No, I love you babbling.
For the Estes method,
Yes.
I've been doing it for ages, and
Yes.
I've done it so many times. I've got books and books full of results. But I like it because it's just easy control.
Yes.
It's so easy to control and so easy to you know set up and say right, okay, let's go, and it's happening, and you sit there as long as you
Absolutely.
need. you can see the psychological aspects of
Yeah,
watching a person who's doing it, and you can see some
yeah,
people get comfortable, some people get more relaxed.
yeah,
You see the difference between believers and skeptics, and just the way people think. You know, all of that is just amazing. Like, and it's just
yeah,
great to do. It's quite creepy in the middle of the night to do as well. So that's quite a good feeling too. But
yeah,
so like so there is like the Estes method, but there's also other things. So when you're using a Ouija board, um,
yeah.
absolutely fantastic experiment. This is what I'd call the Hayward method of doing a
After
Ouija
Rachel.
board after Rachel, because it it actually caught me off guard, I must admit. Mm.
Oh,
So
sorry, I missed I missed your, culture. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I didn't miss it. I don't know. We've all seen it now. You and I have anyway. Rachel's thing about cultural influences. But yeah, go on about the Hayward method. What
so
is
yeah,
this?
so the Hayward method is basically you've got a Ouija board. You get
Yes.
where is it? I don't think I've got any here. Where at
Oh,
the time
David says to Marie.
got a bin bloody things. Bless them. Good old cat balls. But basically,
Well,
so
if you
yeah,
have
this
a cat,
method.
you love
Yeah.
him.
So, yeah, the cats enjoy. That's about it. Yeah. So anyway, this method is you set up a Ouija board. At the time, we had 4 different images. I
Yeah,
think it was like a musket ball, gun, something else. There's 4 separate images, and we tried it out as an experiment. And I held the image. So I usually use Zeta cards, but at that night time we're using an image. And basically, I held it in a
yeah,
position that I knew no one could see it. I couldn't see it, and there wasn't any reflective surfaces or anything else. And basically, you ask whoever's on the board to tell you which card is being held up.
yes.
And I can't remember, Corinne might remember, or maybe Rachel, but I'm not sure. It was a ridiculous amount of times it was right compared to wrong, which was really odd. There you go. Bible, sword, warming pan, club. It just shows about the
Wow.
memory, doesn't it? I thought it was a musket, but there we go.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I used to
um,
do a similar thing. Yeah, but go on. Yeah,
but
that sounds great.
but what Rachel does with
I'll
Ouija
try
boards is absolutely
one.
fantastic. So
I'm gonna try
and
it for
anyone who is
sure.
listening, there's Rope. If you follow Rope on Facebook, Researchers of Paranormal Experience, I think it is. If Rachel also wants to
Oh,
put it up,
rope.
um,
Hang on. Where am I? Where am I? Where have I gone? Hang on. Bible Sword Warming Pan Club. I can't find the rope thing.
no, 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 she hasn't posted it yet. I was just saying
Oh,
if you want to see that, because she does a lot. We have really long
okay.
conversations
Yeah.
about Ouija boards
So I
and
was looking at
communication
my
and stuff.
questions.
There you go. Rope, Researchers of
Rope.
Paranormal Events. I do want to jump on. Lorienne's put on there. Do you think spirits can fade away? The red lady became the pink lady, then the lady in
Yes.
white, then grey because they're fading in
I'm
time.
writing about that at the moment.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. I'm
Winner.
putting it on.
Do you want to take that question, Kat?
No, you go. I'm writing about it. I won't tell you.
You
You go.
all right.
I've got to release it today.
All right. No, so it depends. So I've never actually thought about it in that way, as in it's slowly dissipating. But then if I think about it as in regards to light or anything else, then I'd
Yeah.
think it'd be red would be last. Um, and purely because it's the shortest wavelength of light. So it might go the other way. So it might start off as white, grey, pink, and then to red, and then sort of dissipate.
Yes, and
But
progress through the spectrum, sort of thing.
yeah, but I think with
Yeah.
the ladies
Yes.
hauntings, it's kind of like I think it's more of a cultural haunting, a bit like the Headless Horseman or
Like a trope.
um,
Like a trope,
yeah,
sort of thing. Yeah.
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 So it's like, but as for the fade inside, I haven't really thought about like the coloration difference because obviously you get blue ladies as well. But then that could be down to the light that was behind the apparition as it was
Here we
seen,
go.
or
Sabrina Price says some people.
the colors of spirits are stages of
As in the
manifesting
strength that they need to gain
to
to
appear.
manifest
So
more
that's why we
thoroughly.
use red light seances. So that's why the
Yes,
idea
yes,
that we
that's
use
why
red
my
light.
mum had a red light in the medium and
Yeah,
in the circle when, in the circle that I used to sit at.
it's the idea that it's like it's the shortest wavelength of light,
Yes, of
so it's the
course, but I
easiest
didn't
for
know it was
manifesting.
5. I didn't know that back then.
It's just red. It's creepy.
It's just red. No, I just thought it looked cool. I liked it. I'm a weirdo.
The way forward. We all
Yeah,
are.
go on. Go on, Kev. I'm sorry, I babbled.
No. So I think that's it. Really, it's basically for me and the way my brain works is it'll be more about the wavelength of light as
Yeah,
to how it appears and the stronger it appears or when it would be dissipating. So like a higher wavelength all the way down to a lower, and then whether it's disappearing
hang
or
on.
anything else.
Karen Besant says anniversary ghosts. How does that work?
We changed
Since we
calendars in the
changed
late
calendars. Yes,
1700s.
we
Lost a few
yes we
days.
did. We switched. Oh God, what did we switch to? Gregorian, wasn't it? I can't remember. But yeah, we
Basically,
changed.
anniversary ghosts is, from my perspective, again, is more about the individual who's experiencing it than the actual experience.
Yes,
So, within those days, there was the battle of something happened, and we're here on the same date and night and the
yes,
anniversary of in order to experience it. Like you're
yes,
you're priming yourself for a position to be in that you're going to maybe experience something.
yes.
So there's one big issue there for me in that sense. If it's accidental, I usually ask the same problem of, is it accidental? Was the information there first or was the information there second? But was the
Yes,
retelling of the story, is that information switched? So we weren't aware that this had happened, and then we were told once we said about it that this happened. And it's like that's amazing and wonderful, but is that actually the timing of that happening? So
yes,
as it is for me on most of these type of questions is I need the details all to be there. I can debunk anything. Anything you send me, I can debunk it. No, like easy peasy. Any question I'm
yeah.
asked, I can debunk because there's a million other things it could be. But in situations where you have anniversary ghosts, it's more about information and time. When was something
Assumptions,
said? Yeah,
etc.
and
Expectations.
yeah, and what
Yeah,
sounds better,
yeah,
and it does is what sounds better when someone comes to say that story again and again and
yeah.
again.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Yes, David. Hang on. Where I've got two Davids here. I've got Dawn and David. I've got to sit closer to the screen. David said you said it, Kev, before I could type it. But yes, the anniversary and priming.
Yeah,
And Dawn says, Dawn says.
Dawn, you are putting some amazing questions in. So, why do you feel
I
there are
think
not
it's
many
great. Keep
mentions?
going, guys.
Brilliant. So why do you feel there are not many mentions of modern ghosts, like someone after a car accident walking or haunted a road? Why does it seem to always be historic persons instead of the latest tragedies causing a form to appear? It
Like
seems
the
far less
Britney
common.
Spears thing.
Well, it depends which way you look at it because okay, like believer mode activated in that sense. If when we pass, do we have to go through a process? Um, and does that process take us away from modern times for a while, and then say 10 years, 10 years down the road, all of a sudden, cringe straight in there. 5, 10 years time, then all of a sudden that energy's built enough to appear again. You know, that's the believerhood side. But at the same time, is it also down to people's beliefs? Because we're less superstitious now and we're less belief driven that we might not be looking for it in the
What's
same
it?
way.
We gonna one. Gene, that's awesome.
What's that? We have reports of a
Gene,
modern ghost at Jamaica Inn, dressed in jeans and a jumper with a skinhead
oh, you're the
haircut.
Karen behind the Jamaica Inn. I'm sorry,
That's
I
the
didn't
one.
make the association until then. It didn't
Yeah,
click.
so
Not
so
enough coffee.
you might see a modernish, and what you got to remember, Corinne,
That's
your
right.
modern isn't our modern. So it's like, you say a man dressed in jeans and jumper with a skinhead haircut, that could be, the last 80 years.
Yes. Russ,
Levi's have
we're
been
a
around a
baby
long time.
compared to you. We're a baby of the country compared to you.
And yeah, this is it. So it's like what people's history might be. And again,
Yeah.
we might be priming ourselves as we're used to
Yes.
hearing ghost stories about like older
Yes.
things. I've seen like apparitions that I would probably go as far to say was 6 months old. You know, I've been in a hotel in Portsmouth, and
From a recent period in time,
yeah,
sort of thing.
and I would
Yes.
say what I saw was a victim of suicide, and they couldn't have been, you know, that bad in that sense. It couldn't have been like years and years ago.
Oh, hang on. Oh, you can see Karen's comment. Karen said, agreed, plus fashion changes. Good point, Kev. And now I've got another. Lorian Jones?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so many stories of people who have seen ghosts and have thought they were living solid people. So things like doppelgangers
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
You know, people do
Vajigers.
experience.
Vajigers. They're one of my favorites. I love
Yeah,
doing the research for Vajigers, the Norwegian um
doppelgangers.
doppelganger. Yes.
Yeah, and
Forerunners.
they
Yes.
are literally, but people do experience them, and people. This comes down again for me down to what came first, the chicken or the egg type
Yes.
situation. But well, I used to be obsessed with doppelgangers as I grew up. As one of the things to read about all the time.
I can't see that.
But I've seen,
I
yeah. So I
can't
was about
see
to
that
say that.
obsessed one. Are you on another? Are you on your page? I can't see some comments. Hang on. That could. Oh, I can't see the thing about doppelgangers.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So basically, Lorianne said also, I've heard many stories of people who've seen ghosts and have thought they
Oh
were a
yes.
living, solid person. So I'm just
Oh yes.
connecting that to.
Yes.
But
That's it. I'm sorry.
yeah, but and thing is, you
Oh,
never
hang
know.
on.
And something I used to say as a believer was, you could walk through a busy street and you might see two or three ghosts, and you wouldn't even know. You know, a lot of apparitions that are seen and then they suddenly disappear are seen as solid figures looking like a normal individual. You know, and when it comes to um, like crisis situations and hallucinations and that kind of stuff,
Hang
people
on.
can imagine. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, so I did witness what I thought was Matt, who's part of the Paranormal Society. Um,
Yes.
we were on an investigation. It was like a residential
Oh,
investigation, multiple
sorry.
different dorms. And what are you getting excited about?
Oh, I've got a heap of comments coming up here. That's great, though.
And Lorian's right there. I could explain a lack of modern ghosts is they look too real. They look too much like the clothing doesn't stick out as easily as someone who's in a Victorian dress. They could just be walking past in a Adidas and a flat cap hat, and you just won't spot it.
Yes.
You
I
know,
don't think I only saw a couple when I was very young. I couldn't see after that because the second one I saw scared the bejesus out of me, and that just shut it down. I was like 6,
mm,
but yeah. Um, now we were on toolkit before. Now, I did a post ages, years back when I first started writing for Cat in the Shadows. Well, I am the writer
mhm.
for Cat in the Shadows, but yeah, our mental toolkit too. No
Mm.
nos and good attributes. What sort of things?
Um, critical thought,
Yes.
like 100.
Research, that sort of thing. Reading,
No, no,
knowledge,
no, no, not just knowledge.
but
What's the way to
thorough.
describe it?
Down the rabbit
Understand.
hole. That for
Yeah,
me.
understanding is a big part of it. So
Yeah.
understanding. Imagine someone with depression not understanding depression.
Yeah.
Someone who has depression and doesn't understand it
Yeah.
suffers massively more than someone who has depression and they're aware of it and they
Yes.
understand it. So you
Hang
can
on.
imagine those.
Oh, good
If you're
Lord, we've got
chatting,
more coming up here. Sorry, come on.
um,
Go on,
that's
Kev.
right. We'll carry on. So like,
I'm just reading.
basically, it's one of those situations where was I? Where if you're aware of it, it helps, but you don't necessarily have to be aware of things like hyperarousal. You have to be aware of fear and emotions and responses and the brain and all that kind of stuff.
Psychological
You,
effects,
yeah,
neurological effects, I should say.
yeah. The biggest thing you need is to be aware of your belief system
Yes.
and leave it alone. Like when you go and investigate, when you go to these places, leave your belief system, leave your what's the way to describe it? Your ego, everything at the door, and walk in with a clean mind of what's happening. So
Yes.
instead of going, oh, it could be that because I believe this, it
Yes.
could be
Don't go
that
in with
because,
preconceived notions, sort of thing.
yeah, your mental toolkit should be to think critically. Don't take
Yeah.
everything as the answer straight away.
Yes.
And it's what's this? I had a compelling story where a friend saw me somewhere where I wasn't. Maybe I've seen the ghost all along. Maybe you never know. You might have been like, I see dead people, David. But yeah, basically, you, it's important that we understand our brains, but it's important that we drop the belief at the door in order to find the
Yeah.
truth. And as I've
And
always said with the paranormal, I
yeah.
want the truth. And if the truth is shit and it's none of it exists and none of it's
Yeah.
real and there's an innate issue within the psychology of the human race, fine, happy days. I'm happy. That's the answer. If it turns out that there's spirits of dead people around, yada yada yada, great. Then that's the answer. If it turns out that it's a projection from people's minds and we hallucinate these things in order to deal with trauma response, great. I'll take it. But I want the evidence for all of that.
Rachel, hang on. Karen, she has a kid. I have a kid too. I have a few kids.
Don't need a
Fair.
brain, I have a cat.
I don't know how many kids I have now, but there's only one kid with a good accent.
There is. There's only one. I'm not, I want dead people.
Lorian says Lorian says I'm not. I want dead people.
She just wants them to be dead people.
Well, as long as they're cool.
It would be amazing if it turns out to be that, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
As it'll be fantastic. And there'll be scientifically a way to, cross dimensions and see the people who have passed. And
yeah.
as long as we can prove that technological advance can happen, but we can't prove it because we're crap.
We
you
kind of
know.
really are, and I mean, I'm crap myself at technology. um, um, now I guess that mainly sort of covers. I was going to say, what else? What do you think is holding this field back, and what difficulties do we have to overcome with acceptance by cynics and skeptics? What more can we do to present? There's
Oh,
been
so much
people
more.
experiencing things since the dawn of time, and Karen says, "Well, okay, come and haunt us. I'm fine."
Oh, oh God, I dread the day. I'd be upset. I'd be upset and everything, but then you'll be able to walk through bloody walls and God knows what. I'd probably find me pants flying around the room or something. Um, so basically, I think where we're going wrong is acceptance
Yes,
for each other. And I know coming from someone like me, probably most people wouldn't expect to hear that, but skeptics need to accept believers for what they are. Believers need to accept that skeptics aren't cynics. We need
yes,
to we need to try stuff that is outside of the box, and however stupid it might seem, look at the results. So whether you're a believer, whether you're a skeptic, whether you're a scientist, whether you're a neuroscientist, anything else, if you want an answer to the paranormal, you've got to be willing to do some pretty stupid stuff to see if that does work or not. And I think we need to start again. And that sounds horrendous. I love Harry Price and I love the SPR and I love the history of it all. I love
yeah,
it. But
yeah,
I think we need
um,
to erase the history of the paranormal completely
yeah,
and start again. Because that fog and that haze that people who are just enjoying themselves or
yeah,
misunderstanding are
yes.
creating a big fog that covers the truth every single weekend.
Just in
Every
it for
single
fun.
weekend.
Oh, hang on. Oh no,
I love that film. I love that film. I was just thinking about that film literally
that was a
about 2
good
hours ago.
film. That was a good film, actually. I've tried some experiments. I've told Steve Parsons about them, but I'm not sure I'm ready to reveal them yet. But I did a great one with yeah, um, I don't know. I mean, we have to be willing to open our minds and things like that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm on a different. I go on about 5 different things at once. But yeah, we need to be willing to accept. Just we need to find a balance, I guess. And yeah,
Hey, we can work. What makes me laugh within our group,
yes. Rachel
and
says. Yeah.
And literally, what I find within like the groups, so to speak, that we go in, we do one where we have lead investigators from different groups, and we bring to the table whatever we want, and it's amazing. We do some mad shit, and we do some brilliant.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Let's not.
Dawn, you're opening up a can of worms there.
No,
Warrens.
no, I love it, but I will go on, but you go first. I will.
first, first I'll do
I have a
Lorian's
lot to
question.
say about
So,
them.
if you find a pair of goggles from 13 Ghosts, and for those who don't know, it's the goggles that they put on the little lights on the side, and
Yes,
then they can see the ghosts. Yes, I put them on, 100%,
I
like
would. I would.
100%. So, can of worms. Um,
Yes, give
your
us the
opinion on what's your
word.
opinion on the famous Warrens and all the movies they are pooping out in their name, which is
Uh,
exactly the right words, pooping out. What people have got to remember about The Conjuring, and let's look at the Enfield case especially, they were there for a day. They were
oh,
there for one day. They weren't
they
really
weren't
invited
involved.
there.
They weren't
They came.
invited like Amityville
They
too.
they yeah they popped in.
They
They
just
got
stuck their head
involved
in.
because of the media. They
Sorry,
turned
I'll
around and
shut up.
said they said to Guy Lyon Playfair, you can make a lot of money from this, and that's from Guy's mouth himself. Um, they are unbelievable cons. I absolutely can't stand their work. This is me personally.
Yeah.
Some people are out there as
They
ultra
kept
believers.
everything that they so-called had to themselves. I'm sorry, I'll shut up.
Yeah. And he said there, Guy Lyon Playfair told him to jog on. He did. And he said they weren't even there long enough to
Jog on, I like
take
that
anything.
term.
Jog on.
That's a
Jog
very
on's a good
polite
one.
way to say F off.
It's like, jog on. um, what you have to remember is they were
Rachel
moneymakers.
said books are very
Hypocritical. Yeah.
yes.
They're terrible. They've made money from it, the same as now as it's spread into then museum and everything else.
And Karen
It's
says, yes, me too, Karen.
they
Absolutely.
they are making a massive amount of money, and it's now taken on its own with the Conjuring films and things. Now I like the Conjuring films because they're good horror films,
They
and
are in
I
their
have
own.
to forget that Ed and Lorraine Warren have anything tapped to them, and they're great. But for someone like me with a passion for the paranormal, and you have people like the Warrens, um, that is
True story.
exactly the kind of person that I would hunt down and
Yeah.
absolutely go through every piece of their work and
Tear them to
ruin them.
shreds. Yeah.
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 And
Absolutely.
happily, even if I don't know if they're both dead yet or not, even with one of them being
They
dead,
are. They are
I
dead.
it
They
was the
are.
only I think that's the only time I'd stand out of a code of ethics and do something unethical is when if I decided to do a write up on the Warrens.
If I
So
saw
yeah,
something
Dawn,
that
you've caused fucking mayhem, yeah. The
I,
people in
I
the paranormal know, so the public aren't really aware of that kind of thing.
I think that's one thing that we should really make a stand against. That's
Oh
what's
yeah,
holding us back because people keep believing this. And I mean, even the Zach Bagans, or,
that one,
yes,
that
that
one.
one. But yeah, even these people that keep getting away with stuff, I don't. They've been proven time and time again to be fraudulent. I
It
don't
doesn't
get
matter.
why. And there we
They're
go. And there we
entertaining.
go. Yes, David said they profited hugely out of the yes, they did. And it was so sad. I mean, he was mentally ill. I guess. I guess.
Mhm.
I'm just
Yeah,
hypothesizing, theorizing.
in order to do that, yeah.
To kill six people, you've got to be. No, don't, no,
You
don't, no,
you're
don't go
far from
ahead.
upsetting me.
We love this shit. Oh, Rachel. Oh, sorry. And
Things like that
Rachel says,
vegans.
don't get me started, ZB. Good. That's a good one. Actually, I'll use that from now on. Zach on Beeble Bronx.
He
Did you
is,
ever watch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe?
of
Zach on
course.
Beeble Bronx?
Now that's going back a while. Did you watch the new one? As I
That
mentioned
was,
about my
yes, that had,
my
oh, God, was it Gary Oldman in it? That was great.
which the new one or the old one? Sorry, I completely
On
missed
the
you there.
old, oh, how many are there? There was an old one. I watched both.
There's an old one. There's a new one. Well, the new one's probably old now.
Oh, yeah, there was one with Gary Oldman, or no, the guy from Green Mile in it. No, you're not upsetting no one, Dawn. It's good to chat. Go ahead.
Just go for it. Throw it all out there. Project Genesis. So that's what the one I mentioned about all of us coming together with different ideas of stuff to try. And
Exactly.
and
God,
if
why
you wanted
can't we
to,
do that?
oh, it's amazing the openness of it, and it exists. It's like you could have me at the time when Project Genesis started, a hardcore skeptic, and someone said, right, we're going to try this spiritual thing. Okay, like let's do it. Let's, if nothing happens and nothing happens, if it looks stupid, it looks stupid. But if something does
Exactly.
happen, we got something to look at, and we
Exactly.
do that for 3, 4 days.
Well, why not? I mean, that's why I try experiments. If something happens, then keep going with it. See what you can do.
And it's
Try
worth it.
whatever
It's
you
worth,
try whatever you want.
yeah. But it
Hang
dispatches
on,
his job.
ZB. Oh, hang
It
on.
dispatches job on Zach
Yes,
Bacon's
I do
desk.
too, David.
Brilliant.
Dispatches. Yeah, God. Um, Now you've still got Pararationalise on your page. Are you planning on ever getting it up and running again? Do you think
Mm.
adding an extra aspect to the
Now,
field?
all I would do, I think, is use probably some of the material from Pararationalise into the Kev Kerr Paranormal. Like doing TikTok now is so much like TikTok's a strange place for the paranormal. It's full of fakery and like
It's oh
randomness.
God! Someone hijacked me the other day. Yeah.
Suddenly, but this is like it's that kind of community. But I've had a lot of fun on TikTok, going onto lives, watching what people are doing, discussing with them about what they're doing, and I think little snippets of information. Unfortunately, as we've evolved as the human race, little snippets of information is about as much as we can take. And full blown write ups, people just don't have
Yeah.
the time, the
Yeah.
effort, like sometimes the intelligence. Well, I don't want to say it like that, but sometimes the intelligence to sit and really concentrate on that kind of stuff. So
And it
it's
has to be said.
nice.
Hang on. Yes, here we go. Ear cues. I've done that.
Yeah,
I've done in costume, but not Georgian.
just one of the
Um,
men in Georgian. Oh, we did. Great. The ghost didn't react. We did though. We were absolutely pissing ourselves laughing. So
People
um,
look cool in costumes.
she can't help but share things like that. That was very mean of you. It's not me, by the way. I just add that. That's really mean, Corinne.
But I love that. I mean, it yeah, we really need this sort of stuff. I mean, I've done all sorts of experiments. My favorite one, I've done a few, and I'm planning on trying a few. My favorite one was at the Karen. She's laughing. Yeah, I did one at the old Castlemaine jail over years of
Mm.
team nights and ghost tours, because I was in that for 6 years, and um, with guests or with team and team members as co sort of um, um, people joining in on the experiment. I used to do a silent and blindfold one where I'd sit guests down, tell them to be quiet, blindfold them,
Mhm.
and we'd take them for a walk up and down a wing in the jail. If I had team with us, they'd go up one wing, I'd go up another. And we'd tell them to say nothing while they're sitting there. We'd blindfold them, tap them on the shoulder, take them for a walk up and down.
Yeah.
And, tell them squeeze our arm or our hand, whatever they were holding. If they felt, sensed, heard, whatever
Yeah.
it was. And then you'd narrow it down to where it was coming from,
Yeah.
as in what area is it behind you, et cetera, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You narrow it down, because sometimes it'd have to be a wide and open space because you couldn't bump them into furniture or anything.
Yeah.
Although I did a couple of times.
We used the S.S.A.P method once, and I believe it was
Yes.
Sabrina, and we sat down in a chair,
Rachel's
blindfolded her.
best I've ever.
I'm not telling the story of at the White House with Sabrina.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh come
But
on!
basically, we got Sabrina sat in this chair, and then we were in mid sort of said the S we're going to do the S method, but you're not going to know whereabouts in the building you are. Now we were in a castle, so nothing was really level. We went up and down a few steps, but we basically carried her on this chair, blindfolded and ears covered, all over the building, and put her pretty much back where she was. Um, but that's something that we tried to say, right, okay, mate, is it environment that affects the outcome? Um, but yeah, I'll tell the Sabrina story at the White House. So
Yes.
Sabrina was trying to sound eloquent and be a lady, and because apparently there's some male ghosts there that take interest in people. So she tried that, and then she went upstairs to what was Craig's room at the time. It was one of the older part of the building, and we said to her, "Just go up there then and do the same." And so she did. Um, all of a sudden, she heard like footsteps on the floor, um, and the rocking chair that was in the room, the cushion went down, and then the rocking chair started rocking, which she jumped up, shat herself, ran. Um, but the problem is with the layout of the White House, there's stairs on one end and stairs on the other end, but they're not sort of right at the end of the building. They're sort of in the middle.
What is the
So
White House? Is it a pub or is it a general private
no,
house?
it's basically a big old building that's been renovated um, for like modern use, but it still keeps all the original decor. Um,
Okay.
so she ran from one end of the hallway to the other, and it was like bum 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 bum. And she ran off. We're like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, run back again, bum 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 bum. And then again, bum 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 bum. So it turns out she couldn't find the stairs, so she was just running up and down the hallway, basically absolutely shitting herself, trying to escape.
Oh God. Okay. um,
Bless her. As you can imagine, she hasn't lived it down still.
oh, why not? I love costumes.
A veteran investigator, bless her.
Veteran. Oh God, I was talking to Alison about that last night on Messenger, Alison John, and um God, I don't know if I'm a veteran or not. I've been in this 25 years. I've achieved vintage, but I don't know, what do you achieve antique status after? How long
Yeah,
have you
what?
been in this for? Vintage is 25, antique is 50.
Yeah, it's like it's sort of antique
Antique
investigator.
investigator. Well, son,
Like,
well, I'm sorry.
do we get like 25-year service medals and
I
all
don't
kinds
know.
of other stuff?
I don't know. That was just a random question. Because he said veteran. Well, you are. How long have you been in this for, though? How long have you been in this?
It's been active 15 years. Active,
Really?
obviously. Yeah, but
Vintage.
Vintique. Good show, Rach. Good show.
That's
Yeah,
not
so
bad.
I've done about 15 years actively out in the field, and then
Yeah.
obviously 30 years, probably
Yeah.
32 years of research.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it's a it's a long time, and it's come up on me quickly. Really, it's I think it wasn't until CJ said to me at the A.S.A.P conference, "How long have I known you now? Like 20 years?" And I was like, "Oh, it can't be
Ah.
that. Oh, it might be. Oh, it's like 15. Bloody hell, yeah." So that was a bit of a shock and a reality of like I'm not as young as I used to be.
Well, nor am I. I'm 48 on New Year's Day.
New Year's
Books,
Day,
guys. Anyone wants to buy me a present? Send me books.
just books. I've got a whole pile
Yeah,
here.
just books. Just books. I get my shelves back soon. But now, you spoke at the recent A.S.A.P conference.
hmm
I guess you covered. What did you cover at that? Common causes of
So
ghosts and
causes of a
haunting.
common haunting,
Yes, causes of common hauntings, and the stone tape and residual and all of that sort of thing,
all the fun
and
stuff.
Hollywood tropes, and yeah, I guess we've sort of gone over all of that. Holy crap, we've been talking for an hour and a half.
It's good, isn't it? It happens to me every time we
Oh,
talk about the
well, let me
paranormal. So.
say, I don't look at the screen that often. That's why I tend to miss comments. I'm just looking at you chatting away, and yeah, it's I've never spoke. I like video chatting with a couple of friends here and there because
Yeah,
you get to. I don't get to meet you guys.
no, it's true. It's true.
Well, I hope to soon.
Grief.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, Dawn's got
And who
grief.
says
What do
grief?
you want to know about grief and its effects in the paranormal?
Maybe it's a psychological. I don't know. Maybe we can create our own experience through seeking comfort.
Hmm.
We
So
want that so badly that we. I don't know. I don't know how
it's
to. Yeah, I'll let
it's
you answer that. It's your show.
it's like the Kev show. Um,
It's the guest
basically,
show.
so grief is huge. Like it's one of those very few investigators are willing to sort of trudge. But Cal Cooper, Dr. Cal Cooper, should I say, he has done some amazing work on grief in the paranormal and its effects. But
Yes.
what you've got to take into account, David's right. What you've got to take into account with grief is the
Yes.
emotional response. It's massively
Yeah.
varied, and it's very individual. So it's just the same way as some people. What's the way to put it? Some people might be scared of a spider, and other people aren't. And it sounds like a strange thing to put it, but
I'll give him
but
my
with
phone number, David. Yeah, but go on.
with grief, it comes down to you know how close you were to the individual
Yes.
that passed. Grief also is affected by
Yes.
things like losing a house, losing a job, losing a loved one, all of
Yeah.
those,
Oh
and it
God, yes.
works in so many different levels. But it's hard to pinpoint exactly what in life is causing that. So grief is a big part of it. So grief is going to cause you to hallucinate. It's going to cause something to come to the front of your mind randomly. You might see grass and that connects you to a lost loved one, because
Yes.
once you played on grass, based on the memories of 30, 40 years together, like the brain will just throw it right in front of you. Um,
Thanks.
what's that?
Yes.
Thinking about demons. But
Yes.
basically, what you have to understand with grief is it's massively complicated emotion to the point where even grief counselors will say,
Yes.
it's based on individuals. But you would have situations where you'll go to sleep and people will visit you in your sleep, and
Yes.
they'll and so many people seem to have this one where the person appears and asks them to come with them. Um,
Yes.
so it's a dream, have a very vivid dream, really vivid dream, and that person is asking the person to come with them. Now, I've dealt with
Yes.
17 cases, probably more, as well as conversations with people about
Yes.
ghosts and grief after a member died, like a
Yes.
close person to them died, that they had that dream, the exact same dream. An individual turns up and basically says to them, "Come with me." Now, for me, I believe that's a psychological response of the individual wanting to go with them, and a way of your brain trying to articulate that trauma, that
Yes.
are they gone, are they not? You need them right now, and
And
there
you
is a
want to
very
be
big
with them.
difference.
You want to be
Yeah,
with them. Of course, you
and there's a
still
very
want
very
them.
big difference from a loved one moving halfway across the world to a loved one is gone. So
Yes.
you can miss someone, but with grief,
God,
that
tell me
that
about
missing is so different.
it.
It's
Tell me
so
about it.
different. Like I've had the
Yeah.
same. I recently lost. My dad passed away 14 months ago, maybe.
I know.
You
I'm
know,
so sorry, dear.
no, it's okay. But basically, that grief process between each member of my family was totally different, and people have different experiences. Then that begins to be based on their belief systems. Then it begins to be based on how they deal with it, and it's oh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
I know how it
Um,
feels, though. Yeah, with my
yeah.
mom. But yeah, I know.
So
That's yeah.
you have that thing with grief, and that's why me as an investigator, have I wouldn't have the balls to go right. I'm going to look at grief and the paranormal because it can be so many things. But fair play to Dr. Cal Cooper, and if anyone's going to do it, he is.
Oh, tells a
He
guy.
has done. He's done some amazing work on it.
Yeah, and
And
he's a
I think
I
I'm not sure. Is it a book now? Is it a book now? Sorry, I'm just
and
googling now.
Brandon, of course, Brandon with the ghost studies. Have you read that?
I haven't.
Oh God, get it.
Just order it now.
You have to. I've been babbling about it for like, God, how many years now? Yeah, seven, I think.
As you've noticed with my very this tiny portion of my library, I've
Oh
got to be
God,
fair.
don't show me the
I've got
shelves. Yes, telephone calls from the dead. And the IRVA did a book about that as well. Someone from the IRVA. I saw I was talking to them via comments the other day. Um Telephone calls from the
just
dead. Yes. Yes, got
yeah.
it.
So there you go. So if if you look up on YouTube, so Dr. Cal Cooper, and you go after death communications, so that's his big thing. I believe that's what he did this year at A.S.A.P. And also because he's done his whole PhD about post-death experience during bereavement. Um, so Dr. Cal Cooper,
Yes.
you know, they're absolutely
Yes.
fantastic. And if I don't know if you're friends with me, Rach, if you tag him, you never know, he might jump on. But
Yes.
yeah,
Cal's
so
sweetheart.
that's when it comes to grief, that's he is your man to know the
Yes.
answers. I
I
can get the basics and the gist, but he knows stuff.
I I can't remember who I first reached out to after my mom died, but it was just a day or two after I was reeling. I couldn't cope, and someone suggested Cal, and I wanted to know if there was any studies being done, and yeah, he was one of those that I reached out to, and he didn't have anything going on at that point in time because
Hmm.
I really wanted to, know if she was still going to be there, and yeah, I
Yeah,
won't go any further about that, but yeah. Um,
but
yeah.
yeah, good one. Any more questions?
Um,
I'm just,
God. Oh God, what was I? Oh, bucket list. Bucket list. Where have you been and where do you want to go?
so weirdly enough, one thing on my bucket list because I'm going to bring up my bucket list because on the notes on my phone.
Mm,
I feel like a
you have
teenager
to come
sat
here.
on my phone.
You have to come
Oh
over here.
yeah,
I mean,
I
it
was
costs an
actually
arm and a leg. As
many
Steve said,
moons
you
ago.
might
I
have to
listed out.
get over here, but yeah.
I listed out so many international ones that I wanted to do, and I was actually going to fly out all over the world and see different places. Um,
Yeah.
but basically, on my list here, so was I had the Jamaica Inn, so
Oh,
Investigate Jamaica Inn, which I've done many a times now, thanks to Kareen. So, and if anyone ever gets the opportunity or sees their stuff advertised, you guys definitely want to get an Investigation Jamaica Inn. They do it really
yeah,
well
me too.
and really logical as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Chillingham Castle, which I missed out on, which was so annoying because I missed out on Chillingham
I've
Castle, which
heard
I
of that one,
wanted to do
yeah.
for years. Yeah, Waverly Hills in the
Waverly
US,
Hills, yes,
definitely.
Waverly Hills.
Cheddar Gorge is another one. So these are all local to me. There's no real reason why I couldn't just tick these off the list, but I tend to miss them.
Oh,
The
you
biggest
got,
one, I want
yeah.
to do the Suicide Woods in Japan. Um, at the bottom of Mount Fiji, is it?
Queen Mary, Rachel, Jamaica Inn. Yes. Oh God, I want to go there. Um,
Chloe, Chloe, you all right? I will organise. Corrine, while
a
you're
French.
there,
Oh, that would be
um,
great. That would
go
be
take Chloe there.
very great. That would be fantastic.
French Chateau.
Karen. Yes, Cheddar Gorge.
I
Where
tried
is
to go
it?
over to Mum's problem. So, this cave system, southwest, around this way.
Oh, yes, the Suicide Forest. Yes,
Yeah,
Algig, Algig. Yes, the Japanese
Gili
one.
Forest. But
Yes,
basically, I would love to just, and it's
and there's a
probably
one in Hungary too. Sorry. Oh, shut up.
yeah, the one in Hungary is fantastic. It's the way the trees grow and the magnetic interference and
They're beautiful.
uh,
They're so lovely.
Island
Now
of
you have to
Dolls in
come here sometime, though. You have to come over here,
private hire May 2024. There you go, Chloe. The Teen Gingers.
Karen. Karen,
Yeah, no,
yes.
literally, I'd
You
love to
so
like
have to come over here.
spread my wings and go and see some places because well, England's full. That's the only way to describe it. There's so many. haunted places in the UK is absolutely
I know.
unbelievable. But
Oh,
I
I
just
know.
love to. It's same as America. Like I love the industrial aspect and the more abandoned
Yeah.
industrial complexes and those kind of things. Like I'd
I
love to
like
see all
those
that.
too. I like those too. But we, even though we're a baby of the country, we have the, as I said in my first article for Seriously Strange, we have the unfortunate distinction of being used as a dumping ground for your waste.
Yeah. What a way to put it.
It is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And, they were treated so brutally here as well. So, yeah, that means we do have a whole
Some
heap going on
pretty.
over here. They've recently opened the former York Hospital, which is one that it is one that actually I would want to go there, but it would frighten the big Jesus out of me. It really would. That place is effing terrifying. It's like
My
Amityville,
favourite.
Australia, as I said to you, I think the other night. But they've oh no, I said it to Mark. But they've reopened it as a B&B. I would oh, is Presbury?
Prestbury Cheltenham.
Where is that? Is that a priory, an abbey?
Don't know.
Oh, Perth. Yes, the Perth. Yes, the Perth old asylum, the former Perth Asylum as well. God, yes. The York Hospital. God, that was Amityville, Australia. It seriously was. I'm writing about that. I'm not going to tell you guys. I've yeah, but yeah, we've got a heap. But any other bucket lists, places and stuff, and future plans, and let's cover books and podcasts, current reading lists.
All of it. Well, one. So obviously Rachel's book, like I said, The Lock House Haunting. That's definitely one to get on Amazon. 100%.
Oh,
Excuse me. Avoid calls from Corinne. I just turn my phone off. It's easier. Yeah, so like, and podcasts at the moment. So probably a lot of people are going to laugh at this, but I've just, and I mean literally within the last week, Uncanny. A lot of people have
Yes,
probably heard of it.
Danny Robbins, is it?
Yeah, and
Yes,
I've spent
we
most of the
love
time
him.
going like, who the fuck is Danny Robbins? Like, oh, okay, it's another BBC paranormal thing. How wonderful, and just completely ignoring it. And it's only since I obviously went to Parameet and I got to meet some believers and and got to meet people who were just interested and enjoyed the paranormal, and a lot of people going on about it. And I was like, who is this guy? What the hell? And actually, I am overwhelmingly impressed. Like as far as I'm concerned, he's a journalist, and yeah, journalists always have an interest in the paranormal when they're doing journalism. It's just how it works. But
Yeah,
genuinely, I really like listening to his work. I like listening to the the witness statements that are happening. I like he gets the right people in to ask all the questions.
yeah.
I think Hellfire Caves is closed now, buddy.
And he
I
approaches
think
it as a guy that I read a review of his book. I want to get his book too. Apparently, he's got a book or something.
has he?
I don't know. I'm
But
not sure. I read a review of something of his, but I haven't
same for me. I
listened to.
probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't buy his book. I know that sounds. I love like.
He
I
has
think
a.
there's.
I think it is a book, and he writes about it from a guy that wants to believe, but wants the. I don't know. I read it. It was on the SPR page, I think.
I'll have a look
He seems.
because
He seems. Oh, hang
I
on. Lorian says.
just
Lorian
released
says.
TV shows starting
Oh,
Friday the
appropriate
13th.
date.
Perfect. So yeah, like I'm intrigued because the statements are fantastic.
Because he
The
actually got a
stories
good review, except the guy said that he couldn't do anything to revive the Ouija board.
to what the Ouija board.
So the reviewer said that he couldn't do anything to make the Ouija board more interesting.
You can make the Ouija board really interesting.
I think you can.
If
I think you can.
yeah,
I mean, it used to be used as a game for lovers,
mm,
romantic
it used to, I
messages. Why the
suppose.
hell not?
Or if you mess with it,
Pretend.
and it would if you're in it's mode in that sense of the Ouija board. If you're on a little hot date and you think, "Oh, this would be so spooky and cool that we'll use a Ouija board," lo and behold, there's going to be those situations. I've been the same,
Yeah.
Kev. I got caught up with any. Yeah, so I've ignored this uncanny for a long
Uncanny
time,
chatter. Yeah, I have to too as well, David.
but honestly, it's a bit like I want to say like strange but true. Um,
Strange.
yeah, no, actually, it's probably a lot like strange but true. And
Karen
if
doesn't. I wonder why I have 30 blindfolds.
I think she's filth.
I'm not
um,
going to ask what you've got in your um
Ouija into a drink
cellar,
again.
Karen.
Brilliant. So basically, yeah, I would actually go out of my way, and any skeptics out there who follow me, anyone who kind of has that, oh, here we go again, BBC Paranormal, well done. Like what do you know kind of mentality? It's really worth it.
On.
I haven't actually watched the
No,
Batsy
sorry.
Poltergeist stuff, um, but
That is
base which I
Hail
plan to catch up on.
Fennel. What is that?
So before Danny
I
did Uncanny, he did the Batsy Poltergeist, I believe, with Kieran O'Keefe.
Hail. Hail. Hail.
Hail Fanog.
Yeah.
Hail, hail, hail.
Welsh words are weird.
Of course they are. But
I
basically,
like
but this is it. I think, yeah, in my new open mind, just watching that, listening to that podcast, I thought, oh, that's
Yes.
amazing, because
Yes.
it's not known ghost stories. It's ghost stories that individuals have come
Obscure
forward.
ones.
Yeah, and he's got the
And
right people.
people, ordinary people like I've got my experiences, I hope to gather more that want to tell their stories, like I had
Mhm.
Jamie on the other night. And I'm about to release a thing about his experiences because I'm not going to tell you what I'm writing about. Maybe the possibility that we can re-haunt a house. And Lorian Jones says, "Yay, the new
Yay,
Kevin!
the
Yes,
new
great.
Kev, the
Thank
nicer,
Christ
more
for that. I
approachable
mean,
arsehole.
the field needs this. I mean, we really do."
I'm back, but this time I'm not coming back with any weapons. I'm just chatting.
Well, mentally old cannons blazing, though, dear. I mean, I've seen your
Yeah,
chat for ASAP. That was great.
that's my yeah. That's all still going to happen, whether I like it or not. It's just all come blurbing out.
Now, what do you plan on any future public speaking events or anything like
I'm
that?
not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna be nice Kev anymore because I've just been called soft.
Oh, oh, you are a
Yeah,
much. You are a sweetheart, though. You
I
are.
am. I try my best. I'm
The
not gonna be bogged in a girl.
debunkinator.
I'm not gonna live
Kev
that one
Kerr the
down now.
sequel. Yes.
But
Yes.
basically, my plan is literally to do as many talks, podcasts. There's a few projects in the background that I can't really discuss.
Yeah,
Just
that's okay. Me too.
get myself out there. I'm going to start doing lives on TikTok as well. So it'll be
I
like
can't work out actually, and no, I'll ask you about that later. I can't work out how to do those yet.
I think you have to hit 1,000 followers and then you can do it.
Okay, well, I've only been on 3 days, so I've only
I
got
think you're
not
doing all
many.
right. You're doing fine. But yeah, so my plan is to do experimentations on lives, be more open with the community, you know, be more approachable, and just do as many mad stuff as possible. I want to go on investigations. I want to film on investigations, you know, and not residentials.
Yeah,
I'm still dealing with residentials in the background, but not many. More of a consultant point of view than anything.
yeah,
Um, and just having fun with the paranormal again,
yeah,
because it is
yeah.
exhausting being
It
a
is.
skeptic,
It
bashing your
is.
head against a brick wall.
If you go too hardcore against it, and yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think, God, I've totally lost my chain of thought there. I really have. I think it's a good thing. I mean, for me too. I mean, it's we all need it. We need a Genesis, some of us, because you're approaching this. How do you plan on? That's what I was going to ask. Do you plan on taking a dual point of view? Like from with investigations from a little. Oh, hang on, Dawn's got a question. We're running out of time too. Holy shit!
You tell us about an event that truly shook me. Yeah, I can actually.
Yes, a
Um,
memorable one.
I got many like you say personal experiences, but the one that really hit me quite hard, and it kind of caught me off guard was I was at Techno Towers, and a friend of mine had recently joined me on different sort of investigations where we were just going to locations and things.
Yeah.
And the first location we went is Jamaica Inn, and he got in the car as a believer, and he sort of got out of the car as a skeptic. Um,
Yes.
so we'd had a bit of an hour and a half of me just chatting at him about the paranormal. And after a couple of investigations, he said, "You've kind of ruined it for me. I really want an experience." So I thought, perfect, because I've
Mm.
been waiting to do this experiment on someone. And
Mm.
so I sat him in the back of the car, playing a audiobook of opening yourself up as a medium. So he sat in the back of the car all the way to Techno Towers with this audiobook, totally chilled because it's a bit like meditation type thing.
Yeah.
And we did the walk around, and the guy guiding us mentioned that this figure that comes out the ground in the cellar. And so I thought, perfect position. So I set up the experiment. I'd put him in this almost vulnerable state, and then I put a chair in the corner of the room with lots of bleepy flashy, just EMF meters and things,
Yeah.
and said, put him in the corner, put a camera on him, and went, you just say to the camera how you feel. And we were
Yeah.
upstairs. So
That's a
the
great
rest,
one.
well, the rest of the group were upstairs, and I sat with them. And literally, he ran up the stairs from the cellar, stopped and stared at us, didn't say a word. I instantly went, I didn't really psych evaluate him at all. I could have just put him through all kinds, and I didn't take into account his mental state. I just did it because he asked me to do it, and that wasn't how I worked. So I panicked because he'd run back down the stairs again, and he hadn't said a word. So I grabbed my camera, I ran down after him, and one of the guys ran down too, and he was like, "It's all
Yeah.
going off. It's all going off." It's like, and literally, all the bleepy flashing was
Yeah.
going off. And it was like,
Yeah.
right. The other guy went back upstairs. I thought I'd calmed down a bit, and he thought he had, but we hadn't. All the bleepy flashes stopped, and then all of a sudden, it looked like this big, like shadow figure come out the floor, and exactly as the guy who took us round
Yeah.
described. And as he sort of become full height, he disappeared. And I was like, "Did you see that?" And he was like, "Oh my god, yeah!" And we just say my heart was racing; it was going to explode out my chest. It was like the adrenaline level was exhausted. Um, and for like hours, we were buzzing on the way home. We were talking about it. I instantly plugged the camera in once I got back. Went through the footage, and I didn't capture an apparition or anything, but I captured probably the best
Yeah.
example of that hive mentality situation where we gave each other the information. And it was incredible to see
Yeah.
how I was like, "Did you see that?" And I whacked my torch on and pointed it to where I thought I saw it. He was like, "Yeah, over there." And then it was like some guy coming out and thing,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I saw this, I saw that." And it just balls to that. I'd be off so fast.
No, I love that stuff. I'd go and
But it
stay at the old York Hospital. It's reopened as a B&B. Why the hell not?
I would. I always take the haunted rooms. I always like I'm there to find some stuff like that. If that appears, then
I do as
fantastic.
well.
But
I lie in morgue trolleys. I don't care.
that's it. You just get on with it. But literally, with this
It's good.
situation,
Really.
it was interesting because it was like I had two memories. So I had one memory of this
Yeah.
thing coming out the floor, but also this completely blank memory where I just saw a light change in the dark. So
Yeah.
we made this story like bigger and bigger and bigger over the hours that we were talking about it. We're both so excited, and my heart was still pumping by the time I got home. It's just that
Yeah.
state of hyper arousal was insane, and
I love
I
that.
was only in that because, as you said about the mental toolkit for investigators, you've got to be ready for that. when I suddenly realised that I hadn't gone through a process that I religiously followed, and then all of
That's
a
funny.
sudden there was something happening to this person, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
I love a
you know,
haunted room as well. Yes, David, absolutely.
this is brilliant. And well, Kareen, whenever she organised anything, she's like, "What's the most haunted room?" Oh, Kev will go in there. Like, okie dokie. I just want one good night's sleep.
I slept in. I've slept in a few, but nothing happened except I slept in one at the Bush Inn in New Norfolk in Tasmania,
Mhm.
and it's a really weird 200 and nearly 200-year-old 3-story hotel, and it's got weird shops in the basement that are no longer used and everything. And oh no. And yeah, the only thing that happened, there was a death mask in there and everything, as ornament. And the only thing that happened was the neighbor, the lady across the hall from me, was absolutely batshit crazy. She was. She
That
stood
doesn't help.
outside my door and whispered all sorts of stuff. And yeah, and I ended up losing it. I rarely do. I ended up totally losing it. Karen said I hid under a bosom. A, what?
Hid under a bosom. The ghosts run away when I get undressed at a haunted bedroom.
Oh, okay. Oh, good God, we've got only 10 minutes left. Okay, oh God, what else have I got to ask? Actually, you should go, dear. It's like nighttime. You've got a family.
It's no, so I haven't got the girls. The girls are at the mum's.
Karen Besant says no. Rachel,
No, don't you dare.
Karen Besant, no, don't you dare.
God,
Yeah, God, you've got 2 kids. Oh God, I love their accents, by the way. They're so lovely.
they're so cute, bless them. Yeah, but they're at their mum's, so I'm single dad now, so we got
Oh, okay.
as much
Oh,
time
so
as
you're okay. Oh God, so yes. Did we talk about reading this? I can't remember.
talk about what Reading.
We talked about reading this movies, other favorite movies. What are the favorites? Let's talk about that. I mean, I have a
My
few. I'm writing out
my
a couple at the moment. Ghostbusters, the female remake. Let's go there, shall we? I hate it.
it's funny if you separate it out from the Ghostbusters franchise. It's funny. It's good. Uh,
No, I don't think they're funny personally, but other movies, good Lord.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's
Um,
better.
the original is one of my favorites.
No, but the new one. The new one.
Ah, Sinister.
Yeah,
Sinister's great. That was good. That was
like
good. The oldies, The Changeling, George C. Scott,
Jesus. Now you're talking.
1980. 1980. And The Haunting from 1963 with Claire Bloom. I'm writing about that for the thing I'm doing at the moment.
If you watch it again,
And the latest, the latest
latest one.
what?
What latest one?
The latest,
Latest
latest
what?
what?
It's an awesome film. What latest one? Or is that what it's
What
called?
latest one? Oh, Afterlife. Afterlife is beautiful. I cried at the
Yeah, it's
end.
brilliant. It's absolutely
I'm a
brilliant. And
marshmallow. Oh,
they're
they
making another
remade
one, aren't they?
Changeling. Did they? Did they? Did they remake it?
I think so. They remade.
Ghostbusters. Oh God, yes, I bawled at the end when they all appeared as. Oh yes, George C. Scott. He was fantastic. Yes,
Have you
but
seen My Ghostly Footsteps yet?
no, I
Mm,
haven't. I haven't had time. Haven't had time. I'll have to see that. Have you seen? I haven't sent you the link to Ian's doco. Haunted.
LinkedIn.
The link to Ian's doco. Haunted. Ian Gillespie. I've got
No,
to
you
send
haven't.
that to you. I forgot last night. I'm sorry, dear. Jet lag. Daylight savings. Oh God, we've got 5 minutes left. Now, plug yourself while we're here still. Insta, TikTok, Facebook, web, anything.
anything. Like I say, I've changed everything so now it's Kev Kerr Paranormal, and my biggest thing that I'll be doing is TikTok. I want to get sort of as many followers on there as possible because I could give over like quick,
Oh, the Women in Black
easy
was great.
information. Which could help me sound negative.
Yeah, it was a
um,
cool movie.
yeah, so basically, that's my plan now. Is I do it TikTok when I'm going on investigations because I'll just be doing more
Yeah,
investigations or investigations, we used to call them, on different
yeah,
locations. Um,
yeah,
and if I'm going live, it wouldn't be I'm live investigating that. It'll be I'm live performing an experiment on whatever
yeah,
someone's asked about or whatever. Let's see if lives do affect equipment. Let's see if all these different things happen because
yeah,
I just want to kind of be a light touch on it. And at the same time, if anyone needs any advice about the paranormal, any interest in the paranormal, um, and literally, and it's not just the paranormal, it's everything, folklore, demonology, parapsychology, like
yeah,
all of it, it's all in there somewhere. Um, but basically, I'm an approachable person in the paranormal. I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing, and I'll help anyone who needs help. And if people are starting on a residential investigation or want to get involved in the paranormal,
yeah,
and they want to know where to start, like send me a message on Facebook page or on TikTok,
yeah,
and I'm happy to help. I'm happy to, you know, push people in the right direction.
yeah, exactly. And ye, are you planning on speaking a seriously strange 24? Do you think?
Most likely, I am going to quickly just do
Because
this.
you did a
I'm
really
going to
awesome
plug.
job.
I'm just
Oh, the
going to
lockouts. Rachel's
plug
one.
plug plug this book again. See that?
Yes, yes. Reading list, reading list.
Get that on
Absolutely.
Amazon. And this one. So Lorianne Jones, who I think is still in the chat, she is an amazing writer when it comes to these things, and she's got a story in here. Bum, 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 a few hundred pages in, but basically her story is fantastic. She has a knack for. She read us out a story
Very cool.
at the Parameet, and basically there was me, Corinne. I'm not sure if Rachel was in there. I was astounded at the fact that I had literally been transported to this place and I was just being read a story. She's an absolutely phenomenal writer, and she has a book coming out about pubs and hauntings and
Yeah,
all kinds of things. And yeah, I would say keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, if you get the Dark Village book, and it's full of amazing
that's
stories
great.
by some brilliant writers. But yeah, Lorian Jones, she
Well,
knows
I
what
get
she's
my
doing.
books on. I get my shelves back soon, so that'll be cool. That'll
That's
be
always
great.
helpful.
But yeah, God, and yeah, now, good Lord, I'll let you go, dear. We really only got 3 minutes left. Crap. So I'm gonna let you go anyway. We've only got 2 hours. I've got only StreamYard. I've only got StreamYard as such at the moment, but yes, and Maldives and and Lorian says you're a gem. Well, you are. You are, and
Bless her.
thank you so much, dear. It's so great to have finally a chat to you for real in real life,
Yeah.
and thank you to anyone. And actually, one more book I have to plug before I go. The IRVA, they get a small stipend if you buy their book through Amazon, folks. So I have to plug them. I said that I would.
The
Yeah, but let
IRVA, you say?
buy books, learn International Remote Viewing Association.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you, Sabrina, as well. I really absolutely bloody enjoyed this. This was a great chat.
Good.
We've gone for 2 hours.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Noah, have yourself a good night, dear, and I've got to pee anyway.
Well, thank you,
Cola.
and thanks everyone in the chat as well. So it was brilliant. And Dawn, absolutely
Well,
amazing questions. Well done.
and thanks, Guy, for the questions, and thank you, and thank you, Kat and, and Kev. Thank you, Rachel, for listening in. Thanks, Chloe. Thank you, guys. This was a great chat. Thanks, Karen.
It's brilliant.
Guys, it was great hearing you all in chat, seeing you all in chat. I'm finally learning this, and I finally had enough coffee to realize that it was Monday for Kev and not for me. Now we've got
Don't
40
start
seconds left.
24 hours early. Yeah.
Yes, really. We've got 40 seconds left. I've got to go, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Good
Thanks
night,
very much.
Kev. Good
Thanks.
afternoon. Good morning to anyone who wakes up over here. I'll catch you soon, dear. Big hugs, much love.
All right, take care. I'll see you soon.
You too. You too.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. And